Hello, Planet Earth. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're at IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young, wishing you warm salutations and congratulations because you've made your way to the Buffington Post. Today it's time for another Buffyverse discussion, so don't reach into your super gay Buffy bag because it's all the way over there and we're all the way over here, and you could just magic it over here, sure, but don't waste your energies on such frivolous stuff. Use magic for important things like staying young and looking cute. That's right, today we're talking about Sophronia and Lavinia Fairweaher.
Life goes on, and so do we. Just how we do it is no mystery. One by one, we fill the days. We find 1,000 different ways. Sometimes the answer can be hard to find. That's something I will never be. I'm always here for anything you need. Rain or shine, I'll be the one to share it all as life goes on. We share it all as life goes on.
Okay, Planet Earth, so let's start today's discussion by talking about the difference between Buffy and Angel as properties. Now, you've got Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is about life being short. Life is short. Seize the day, because tomorrow you might be dead. That's what Buffy tells us. Whereas Angel is about the thing that people won't tell you in this life, that life is long. It's longer than you would like a lot of the times. And even if it's not long in the grand scheme, it's going to feel long to you, because you're a person. We're going to discuss this with Sophronia and Lavinia, who have definitely lived a very long life. So I'm going to go chronologically with this. Now, the Fairweaher sisters are three. You've got Edna, Sophronia, and Lavinia. I don't know their order of birth, but it's really irrelevant. So the Fairweathers all have like a strong magical bloodline, and it expresses themselves in all three of the Fairweather sisters. So Edna Fairweather goes and enters the Watchers Academy and puts herself in the position of being a Watcher. Her son follows after her. Now, the other Fairweather sisters, Sophronia and Lavinia, decided to put all of their magical energies into staying young and beautiful forever. And so they exist all the way through the Buffy timeline to today. And they are Giles's immortal great aunts. So Edna Fairweather had her own son after she presumably married. And we don't know Rupert Giles' father's first name. We have a surname, but he doesn't have a given name. But we've got Edna, enter given name here, and then we get Rupert Giles. So when Rupert was about 9 or 10 years old, Sophronia and Lavinia came to his home to see Edna and Rupert's father, because they were trying to get this thing called the Shard of Stranos. Now, the Shard of Stranos is this like wacky crystal thing that basically has magical properties that turn energy into matter and matter into energy. And so Sophronia and Lavinia were after this shard. They wanted to borrow it so that they could restore some of their lovers to their former glory. Now, Edna and her son refused to give this to Sophronia and Lavinia because they don't use their magic for anything other than their own selfishness all the time. So whatever, this light demon knew about Sophronia and Lavinia's plan to get this Shard of Stranos. It followed them there and attempted to steal the shard so as to make itself and all of its brethren into physical beings rather than just light energy so that they could overrun our plane of existence. So they struggle over the shard, and it ends up in the hands of little Rupert. And when little Rupert picks it up, its power is activated, and it actually turns this light demon into solid matter, and Edna takes this opportunity to kill the demon. So immediately after this, they see that Rupert, of course, has his magical potential, and they snatch him up and they send him off to the Watchers Academy. And Sophronia and Lavinia are like, wait, you don't have to send him off to school. Let's let him have his childhood for a minute. You know, we could teach him. We're really good at magic. And Edna's like, no, he needs to learn about, important things and not how to remove zits and stay cute. So Sophronia and Lavinia feel really guilty about this their entire lives because basically they, through their selfishness, kind of stole Giles' childhood away from him. He had to grow up way too fast. So they feel bad about this their entire lives. And Giles kind of has a grudge against them because of the way that they use their power. They're very selfish with it. And sure, apparently over the years he's gone to them for help or whatever, but not anymore. He never mentions them in the show. He never mentioned them to Faith, even though Faith and he went all over Europe for a year together. And he just never brought them up, not even to Ginny. So, whatever. Angel was all possessed by Twilight, and he up and snapped Giles' neck. Oops. So, Angel in season 9 of Angel and Faith is trying to put Giles' soul back together and in this world without magic, resurrect Giles. So, okay, after the daddy issues storyline, they come home one night and, there are these two 21-year-old ditzes just chilling in this house that Faith has that she inherited from Giles. Whatever, they explain who they are. They're Giles' immortal great aunts. And they are there because, oops. When Buffy destroyed magic, it of course had consequences for everybody, but the consequences that it had for Sophronia and Lavinia are a little bit worse, but of their own design. So, Sophronia and Lavinia, of course, use magic to stay young and cute, and they made deals with all these different demons over the years to kind of barter against their looks, because they are the cautionary tale for trying to get by on your looks alone. So they have kind of bet everything on their looks, literally. So since they use these different magics to stay young and pretty, what they do is when they want something from a demon, they'll make a deal with them for whatever they want. And they'll bet things about their appearance. And so Lavinia bet this one demon for this cellulite banishing elixir. And in return, she would give him her life and soul on the day that she got her first gray hair. A day that would never come. So, Buffy destroys magic, and Lavinia got her first gray hair. And so, oh my gosh. All of these demons come to collect, and Sophronia and Lavinia run to Angel and Faith to basically get them to solve their problems. And Faith says, so wait, you have all of this magic, and instead of learning how to use it to fight, you wasted it on staying young and pretty? They say, well, when you're young, beautiful, and rich, what more power do you really need? Well, apparently you need a lot, and that's the thing. Sophronia and Lavinia have basically put everything. They have based their entire lives on their looks, and now it's not paying off because, hello, people age. So, whatever, Angel and Faith take care of all the demons, and Sophronia and Lavinia stay in London at Faith's home. So, they apparently know that Angel's trying to resurrect Giles and put his soul back together with all these different magic artifacts and things like this, and they want him to do this. Because, like I said, they feel guilty about having robbed Rupert of his childhood. So, whatever, as soon as they decide to stay, Willow shows up. Willow knows Sophronia and Lavinia from her time at Giles' country home at the beginning of season 7, where we saw her and Giles when she was in magic rehab. And Sophronia and Lavinia had been staying in the country home until they came to London just now. So, whatever, Willow up and takes Faith and Angel
over to Los Angeles so they can collect Connor and try and get into Cortos so Willow can go to roll that shrimp, go on a crazy journey, and bring magic back home.
So, whatever, as soon as they leave, Whistler, Pearl, and Nash show up looking for Angel and Faith, and of course, they're not there, they're in LA. And so, Sophronia and Lavinia, it looks like they're totally gonna die, but then they totally don't. Whistler, Pearl, and Nash just kind of leave. And then when Angel and Faith return, stuff goes down, but oops, Nadira shows up because, her slayers are dead and things like this. So then they go and do this whole other thing with, what's his name? Igon. And whatever. So we get back, and by this point, we have this character named Alistair, and Alistair was an associate of Giles that Angel had kind of enlisted to help them with their whole resurrection situation. So once they get all of these, different parts of Giles' soul together, they all get together and, do this resurrection spell. Alistair gets knocked the fuck out because Pearl, Whistler, and Nash show up in the middle of this resurrection spell, and so Lavinia and Sophronia have to kind of, take over the recitation of the spell. So they're reciting the spell, Lavinia's kind of like handling it, and it comes time for, Rupert to be back. So remember how I said that their own selfish motivations are what created like the Rupert Giles that we know and love and who died? Right, like they showed up, they were selfish, and it ended up costing Giles pretty much his life as we know it. And through their own selfishness, again, not consciously but unconsciously, when they resurrected Giles, they weren't trying to resurrect the Giles that we lost. They were trying to resurrect the Rupert that they lost. They wanted him back because he never got a chance. And so subconsciously, that is who they brought back. Now Giles is in this young, like preteen body because Sophronia and Lavinia wanted to basically give him a second chance at life. Literally. So, okay, now we have this preteen Giles, and then Whistler, Pearl, and Nash come along, they steal all this magic stuff so that Whistler can make this crazy, like, magic virus bomb that's gonna destroy, like, a third of the planet or so. And it's all for, like, greater good. They wanna, like, evolve the human species and the whole Earth to kind of, like, keep up with its next stage in evolution, and it's all just gonna be, like, this crazy hell until it's paradise on Earth. Ugh. So, yeah, they do this, and they set off this fucking bomb, and the people of Magic Town, as we're calling it now, of Hackney, are all, like, being transformed into these crazy magical creatures, and they're all in this pain and all this good stuff. And actually, like, Sophronia and Lavinia are the first people on the ground to, like, try and help these people, and try and help them to cope with what's going on with them. Because the thing about it is, as superficial and selfish as Sophronia and Lavinia are, they are these little old ladies, and when you think about a situation like that, your grandma would be the first one out there trying to help people, trying to get people, to feel good about themselves. And so this is what Sophronia and Lavinia do. We see that they go out and try and help these people on a very personal and real level. And yeah, they're a little condescending about it, but that's just them. They are interviewed by like this news company or whatever, and they're like, oh yeah, we just did it because who else is going to do it? We're so nice. And we see them kind of turn over a new leaf. They're not as superficial as we had previously seen. So then, like, right now where things are, of course, Rupert has gone over to San Francisco where he's living with, Buffy and Willow and Dawn and Xander and Spike and company in that little apartment complex. And so Sophronia and Lavinia are still staying at Faith's house? I don't know if it's technically Faith's house now that Giles isn't dead. But yeah, it's more or less Faith's house, and they're still staying there, and they actually help Angel figure out what's going on with like the new day vampires that the new Seed of Wonder has created. And that's pretty much all they're doing now, is just chilling at Giles' house. The great thing about Sophronia and Lavinia is, as much as we miss like Wesley and Cordelia and Lorne, they're kind of like two hot young chicks who have like all of the Wesley knowledge, and then they have all of the Cordelia like superficiality and vanity, and they've also got all of Lorne's like compassion and like motherness, you know what I mean? And so they have a way of just filling all of these roles that we really miss. I really miss Lorne. I don't know why he's gone. I want him back. Without them, we wouldn't have the Giles that we know and love, and we also wouldn't have this new young Giles, but we would have neither if it weren't for their complete selfishness and their abuse of power, right? So, it's really important to remember that these are little old ladies, and as helpful as they are, they're also really condescending because, they've seen it all, they've lived through it all, and they're really sweet, but they're really set in their ways, and they're really fun characters, and they actually add not a lot of, but they add a little bit of historical human context to the kind of magical elements that are out there. Like with the whole Whistler situation, he was trying to set off this bomb to kind of up human evolution, may the strong survive, and Lavinia likens it to the Blitz, the London Blitz, because, when the Nazis bombed London, it was like, oh fuck, we're just gonna take you out for the greater good, right? And so Sophronia had actually lost a lover in this, And so this is all very personal to them. They've seen everything. They've seen history happen, and they know when it's repeating itself. Which gives them a really neat perspective on the Buffyverse, and so that's another reason that they're really neat. Like, right now, we don't know what's going to go on with Sophronia and Lavinia. Will they continue to be set in their ways and just do things that are going to only help themselves? Or will they be major players now that we have this new Seed of Wonder, now that we have the new Magic Town magic? Will they help us to kind of stamp down the rules and navigate our way through this new world? It's all in the air right now, but they're young and cute. They're Sophronia and Lavinia Fairweaher, and I hope you've enjoyed today's Buffyverse discussion. You can come right back to the Buffington Post anytime here at my channel IDK, my BFF Jill 730. I'm Preston L. Young. You can find me on Facebook at Preston L. Young or on Twitter at VPWitty. Have a nice day. I hope you're having a great 2015 so far. Share to your other Buffy fans. Like, comment, dislike, subscribe, and as always, question. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Life goes on, and so do we. Just how we do it is no mystery. One by one, we fill the days. We find 1,000 different ways. Sometimes the answer can be hard to find.